Top Gun tells the story of Maverick.
I feel like you just need a Maverick shirt.
Not that Maverick!
Negative, sir.
Played by Tom Cruise, a United States aviator with his fellow fighter pilots on the USS Enterprise. He's known for his reckless and rebellious behaviour, which of course causes shenanigans with his buddies, 4 of which include a guy called Goose.
Are you kids having a good time, huh?
Not that Goose!
Yes, sir.
Val Kilmer, Tom Skerritt and Tim Robbins, and it gets him in trouble with his boss, the principal from Back to the Future, before he falls in love with the instructor Charlie, played by Kelly McGillis, and Meg Ryan's kinda there too. She doesn't really do a whole lot.
Bingo.
The movie basically came about from an article called Top Guns in a 1983 issue of California Magazine featuring aerial photography by Charles Heatley, who was the lieutenant commander at the time. The article told the story of the fighter pilots, which became the whole inspiration for the movie. But originally, a bunch of screenwriters turned down the idea. Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer produced the film and called in Jim Cash and Jack Epps Jr. to write the first draft of the script. They would visit many declassified Top Gun classes to gain experience and make the film as accurate as possible. However, the first screenplay did not impress and was nothing like the final film we would end up seeing. Tony Scott, the brother of Ridley Scott, was brought in to direct based on just a Saab commercial he had made a few years earlier. But in it, a Saab 900 Turbo literally races a fighter jet. Okay, that is kind of badass.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Although John Carpenter and David Cronenberg both turned down the chance to direct the movie. Matthew Modine was originally offered the part of Maverick, but he turned it down as he felt like the movie's pro-military message went against his political stance. Well, he sounds like a hoot at parties.
We'll make it better.
Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, Matthew Broderick, Sean Penn, Michael J. Fox, Scott Baio and Tom Hanks all turned down the part, while others consisted of Charlie Sheen, Jim Carrey, Rob Lowe, Kevin Bacon, Eric Stoltz, John Travolta and Robert Downey Jr. Originally, even Tom Cruise was reluctant, until he was taken into a real F-14 and given a sick bag. The pilot proceeded to do several barrel rolls and all sorts of crazy maneuvers. As soon as Cruise was back on the ground and had vomited, he agreed to do the movie instantly.
You're such a dickhead.
The US Navy actually did assist in the production of the film, approving script decisions to make it entirely accurate. Due to this, a lot of foul language was also removed, and there was even a scene where they crashed on the deck of an aircraft carrier, but this was also deleted. Maverick's love interest was also originally just going to be another member of the Navy, but they changed it to an instructor as it was forbidden for them to date their students, which also added to the romance. Julianne Phillips was almost cast in the role and had been scheduled to perform a screen test with Tom Cruise, but it never happened. Ali Sheedy was also approached but turned it down, claiming that nobody would want to watch a movie about fighter pilots. She later regretted the decision.
God damn it.
Tatum O'Neal, Jodie Foster, Daryl Hannah, Diane Lane, Sarah Jessica Parker and Linda Hamilton also turned down the role, and Carrie Fisher was even considered at one point. Val Kilmer became iconic for this movie, but weirdly he didn't even want to do it in the first place, and he was only forced to do so due to contractual obligations. It also didn't help that he and Tom Cruise didn't get along, so they kept their distance between scenes. And Cruise also clashed with love interest Kelly McGillis. Attitudes were just everywhere on the set. But it is funny to see because Tom Cruise is only 5'7", so throughout the entire movie they put him in lifts and other actors didn't wear shoes, or they had other characters kneel or sit or lie or walk behind him, anything to make him look taller than he actually was. Poor Tom.
I still can't believe it.
Pete Pettigrew.
My old friend.
Not that Pete Pettigrew! No, seriously, Pete Pettigrew was actually a real person. A former Navy aviator, Vietnam War veteran, and Top Gun instructor. And he worked as a technical advisor for the movie, even appearing in a small cameo role. There were also rumours that the character of Maverick was based on a real naval aviator, specifically Randy Cunningham, but the producers denied this and claim it was just a fictional character.
Don't tease me.
The Navy gave the producers several fighter jets for the film, and the studio actually paid them around $7,800 per hour to cover fuel and operating costs. But Tony Scott was such a perfectionist, he wanted to shoot some aircrafts landing and taking off with the sun lighting the background. However, one pilot changed the course and the light was therefore altered. Scott wanted them to continue on their course and speed and do it again, but it would have cost $25,000 just to do so. But he signed them a check for it, just so the ship could be turned and they could shoot for an extra 5 more minutes. Determined or crazy? Or both? Also, it turned out that check bounced, so that failed.
I like that.
However, it's not all great stories here. Art Scholl was a stunt pilot aged just 54, and he tragically lost his life for this movie. During a flying scene, his Pitts S2 camera plane performed a flat spin, but he wasn't able to recover, and he tragically plunged into the Pacific Ocean, dying instantly. His last words over the radio were, "I have a problem. I have a real problem." The exact cause of the crash was never determined, and his aircraft nor his body were ever recovered. The movie was dedicated to his memory. Top Gun was premiered in New York City on May the 12th, 1986, before opening up to the rest of the country 4 days later, grossing a worldwide total of $353,811,728, making it the highest grossing movie that year. But originally, the critical response was hit and miss. Most loved the aerial scenes, but others found everything else dull and boring. The movie went on to win the Academy Award and Golden Globe for Best Original Song, as well as a People's Choice Award for Favourite Motion Picture, and the famous line,
I feel the need for speed.
was ranked by the American Film Institute as the 94th greatest movie quote in history. It was so big, it even ended up becoming a frequent recruitment video for the Navy. And allegedly, after the movie's release, the amount of young men who enrolled in the Navy went up by 500%.
I'm on my way.
In fact, this movie is so popular that in the real-life Top Gun school, if anyone quotes the film, they have to pay a $5 fine.
That's pretty arrogant.
But Top Gun is known for basically kickstarting the home video industry. Back then, VHS tapes were incredibly expensive, sometimes around $100 for a new release, and were primarily in video stores. But this one was a lot cheaper and was priced to own immediately upon release, thanks to sponsorship from Pepsi Cola. So this one started a whole new trend.
Real slick.
Okay, let's see here. Well, this is nice, like really calm music. This is actually quite soothing. Oh! Oh yeah!
Level up your ends, listen to her howl and roll.
Oh mate!
Pedal on the tension, begging you to touch and go. Highway to the
Danger zone! Danger zone!
heading into twilight, spreading out.
This is awesome! I mean, it is so 80s, but I love it.
God damn it, this bogey's all over me.
Ew. I do love how they're so confident they even fly upside down and still take the time to take photos. Mate, I'd be shitting myself just getting inside the damn plane. But I can't front. These scenes look incredible and they have so much energy, it's brilliant. So basically this dude Cougar gets shaken up and can't land the plane, so Maverick has to help him. But in doing so he leaves his wingman, which is what gets him in trouble in the first place. But Cougar during the panic looks at a photo of his wife and kid, and it's only brief, but it's such a powerful moment and we don't even know who this character is yet. And this is why Maverick and his buddy are sent to the Top Gun school due to their reckless flying.
Excuse me, miss.
Hey. Don't worry, I'll take care of this.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. There's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby. But baby, believe me, I know that you've lost that love and feeling.
Okay, no, I am sorry. I don't care if you're Tom Cruise. Walking up to a woman and randomly singing to her in a bar? That would never work. It's just cringy. And the fact that all of the other pilots join in doesn't make it charming, it makes it even creepier. What's going on? But despite this, I can't lie, Maverick does come across as really likable and charming. I don't know how he does it.
Are you a good pilot?
I can hold my own.
Great. Then I won't have to worry about you making your living as a singer.
And of course she's the instructor and has some kind of connection with his job. It's pretty predictable, but this did come out when these cliches were just being invented, so we'll let it slide just this once.
Where exactly were you?
Well, started up on his 6 when he pulled through the clouds, and then I moved in above him.
Well, if you were directly above him, how could you see him?
Because I was inverted.
No, he was, man. It was a really great move.
Fun fact, that wasn't actually planned. Val Kilmer just decided to improvise that on set, and that was everybody's genuine reactions. It's pretty cool.
So you're the one.
Yes, ma'am.
How is this so charming? He's being a bit of a dick and deliberately winding her up, but it's such sweet and charming back and forth banter. He makes it sound cool. How does he do that?
We've had enough fun for one day, don't you think?
The flying sequences are really well done. Not only do they look awesome, but it's just fun to watch these characters treat it as not just a job, but like they're genuinely having a blast and love what they do. It's like they're kids at Disneyland, but they're also all extremely competitive, always trying to outdo each other. It just has a lot of charm.
You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe. I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right.
What the hell was that?
I don't like you because you're dangerous.
That's right.
I'm acting. And also, everybody's made the joke, so I might as well address it. It really does feel like there's some kind of sexual tension between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. I mean, what the hell is Kilmer doing here? Do you guys need a minute? But you do support Maverick as he's just having fun on the job, but he just seems to fail to see where the line is. Frank Oz's twin here can't risk getting in trouble again as he has a family to support, and you can see that Maverick is regretful of acting this way. It is quite emotional.
It takes a lot more than just fancy flying.
I do my own stunts too, you know. It's weird because he asks her out and she says no because she can't date her students. Then she says it takes more than just flying to impress her, but then she agrees to date him anyway. Yeah, who cares? It is kind of smooth. And yeah, the homoerotic tones were definitely strong in the 80s. A bunch of sweaty, buff, topless dudes in some sand playing volleyball together, but somehow the badass 80s music makes it awesome. But is this a normal thing in America? Someone doesn't answer their door, so you decide to look through their windows and investigate their private property?
If you don't mind, I'm gonna just take a quick shower while you're finishing up here.
And then invite yourself to use their shower? Who cares? They are really cute together. You wouldn't have suspected that they clashed on set.
I don't normally invite students to my house.
But you're Tom Cruise, so f*** it. Man, is Val Kilmer just always chewing gum to look as much of an ass as possible? So his lady friend has a go at him for his reckless flying, causing Maverick to storm off, so she gives chase, nearly causing a car crash, and then he kisses her anyway. Okay, fun fact here.
My review of your flight performance was right on.
Is that right?
That is right.
But I held something back. I see some real genius in your flying, Maverick, but I can't say that in there. I was afraid that everyone in that tax trailer would see right through me. And I just don't want anyone to know that I've fallen for you.
Right there, Tom Cruise was supposed to have another line, but he forgot what it was. So he improvised and just kissed her randomly, which wasn't planned, and the director liked it so much he kept it in. It actually works a lot better, I think. Although, what? So he's like, you insult my work in front of everyone? How dare you? I hate you! You're hot, let's f***.
That was some of the best flying I've seen yet. Right up to the part where you got killed.
Man, have you noticed that most of this movie is just Maverick making mistakes? He's this genius perfect pilot, but then he has little mishaps. It's over and over again.
Maverick, it's not your flying. It's your attitude.
You are so black.
I'm not black, you're black.
I'm not black, you're black.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're so obviously the black one. I mean, for crying out loud.
That was stupid. I know better than that.
I can also act better than that. Thank God the director's gonna ask me for a second take. By the way, I wasn't kidding. Meg Ryan does basically nothing in this movie. Why is she even here? But my God. Goose and Maverick have to eject, but Goose ends up tragically dying. This is so intense and the effects are amazing, but it's also super emotional. Even more so when you find out that a pilot actually did die making the film. This is really well done. There's films like Independence Day that kills side characters and it doesn't really mean anything, but here Maverick blames himself for the death and it's such a powerful moment. It is a huge deal. He's really good here. He doesn't want to fly again, he blames himself, and then when he finally does do it again, his flying starts to get worse and he struggles majorly with this loss. Jesus Christ, Val Kilmer doesn't even need to say anything for him to look like a douchebag.
I'll have what he's having.
A mental breakdown? But his lady friend is always there to give him some more pep talk. Maverick is only motivated to return to flying when he finds out how heroic his father was and that he died saving lives. It comes full circle and it's paced together brilliantly. And as they prepare for the big final act, you do feel his journey and fully support him. Is about to go down. And things get so intense as Maverick has the opportunity to repeat the mistakes he made earlier, but he refuses and is now 100% focused. This is insane.
Don't let him go. Keep on him, Mav. Keep on him.
I got him. I got him. Here comes the shot.
And then Maverick is a hero, reconciles with Kilmer, and it's a really cool moment. You do feel satisfied from his journey. The movie is fantastic. The flying scenes are out of this world and need to be seen to be appreciated. But they're not all this film has going for it. Maverick is a solid character you can get behind. He's not squeaky clean, he's a rebel who makes mistakes, suffers loss, and learns from it all. Val Kilmer is a generic douchebag, but he's an entertaining generic douchebag. And the side characters are great to watch too. It is a really good movie. The film over the years became more and more popular, gaining a huge following as well as several video games. And a sequel was even planned immediately after. A script was produced as soon as Top Gun was released, but production halted because the military gained new technology and didn't want a bunch of camera crew near it. But also, Tom Cruise refused to do a second one. Eventually, he was talked into it, but not until 2010, which is when planning for Top Gun 2 finally began. Unfortunately, Tony Scott passed away 2 years later, but that didn't stop things. For 30 years, we've been trying to make a sequel and we're not going to stop. We still want to do it with Tom and Paramount are still interested in making it. What Tom tells me is that no matter where he goes in the world, people refer to him as Maverick. It's something he is excited about, so as long as he keeps his enthusiasm, hopefully we'll get it made. In September of 2014, Justin Marks was revealed to have been in talks to write the script, which was later confirmed the following June. He called it a dream project of his, finding the original to be an iconic movie in his memory. It was one of the first ever films he remembers seeing in a movie theatre. In May of 2017, Tom Cruise was promoting The Mummy and he confirmed that a sequel to Top Gun will finally begin filming the next year. And in June, he announced the title to be Top Gun Maverick. But the excitement remains after all these years, so Top Gun must have done something right. Still not a big fan of Tom Cruise though. Nah, don't rate him.